Hey y'all. So I was like, I know y'all gonna be like, every time this chick get on here, she's doing her hair, and got fucking excuses about her hair. Look, my hair looks crazy. I've had it in for about maybe 5 weeks, at least a month, and so it's looking old to me, and it's time for it to go. Right? I'm trying to grow my edges, whatever. We'll see. I haven't been consistent with that, but I'll figure that out in a bit. Anyway, so, thank you for joining my page. Welcome to the new Lisa Speaks. Yes, I do still have Candidly. Yes, I still will be running that podcast over there. But I feel like, I used to go live quite a bit on Facebook, and I haven't gone live in a while. And some people actually like to listen to what I have to say. So, I decided that I'm probably going to start steering away from Facebook just because of the restrictions and I don't know. I know I got motherfuckers watching me over there. I mean, obviously motherfuckers are going to watch me over here too, right? But I don't know. I feel like this is a better platform maybe. I might have less restrictions. Maybe I'll have a wider audience. I might even touch somebody's soul at some point with something that I say, or I just might make somebody crack the fuck up. Who knows? So I really don't know what to tell you to expect from this page because I'm going through a transition in my life, dealing with a lot at my big age, and I'm not very excited about that. But I'm also excited about the trajectory my circumstances have led me to. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be stretched and stuff like that. I just didn't expect that at the age I am, my circumstances would be what they are today. But, I don't blame anybody. I made these choices. I, made some bad decisions. I, did some things, legal, of course. But I made some choices that just weren't in my best. They weren't for my best or greatest and highest good. And now, as a result of those choices, I am suffering a little bit. So, can't you tell? I mean, look, I have gray hair that I haven't dyed. So, yeah, it is what it is. I was dealing with some depression for a little bit, and I think I probably still have bouts of it. I guess probably a lot of people do, have bouts of depression or whatever. So I was dealing with some of that. Obviously, you guys know I went through this old bullshit ass breakup with this old sorry ass motherfucker I was fucking with. Also, part of the reason for this transition in my life because let's just say I offered more than I was given, or I gave more than I received. On numerous levels, and it's okay. I'm actually okay with it. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I'm mad that I have to go back to the middle, back to the beginning. I have to start all over again. But on the flip side, I'm also happy that I don't have. Look at my eyes. Like, I'm only 40 fucking 5. Okay? I'm only 45. Look at my fucking eyes. Look at these bags under my fucking eyes. You think that makes me happy? You think I look good with these bags under my motherfucking eyes? I be waking up looking like I'm fucking 89 sometimes, looking in the mirror like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? For dealing with a motherfucker who stressed me out every fucking day. I have never been put down so much in my life. Not even by my crackhead aunt when she was a fucking crackhead and I was growing up. And she put me down. But this motherfucker, it's funny because I remember, when I met him, I was in a great place, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I was in a great space, but I was lonely. I was so lonely, and I wanted love so bad. And here comes this chocolate brother. Even though he wasn't the height I wanted him to be, but he was fine as fuck, sexy, had a perfect body. Eventually I discovered he had, his third leg was nothing to play about. So I appreciated, that I had this beautiful man who treated me amazingly well, you know, and I felt like, this is what happens when you do your work. When you do your work, you're presented with the best things life has to offer. Little did I know he was going to be the final level to the journey I'm on to enlightenment. He was going to be the final challenge, the final test of my resolve to determine what God is planning for me. And if I did not learn that test, I would have repeated it again. Because this is a test that I've repeated. Except each time I repeat it, no, I can't say each time, but sometimes it got easier. So when it got easier, I was like, I bet I'm one step closer to my person, to my soulmate, to the one that was created for me. I'm one step closer. Okay, so this guy, he was amazing in all of these ways, but in some of these core areas that, are really important to me, he's not. But, versus how it was before, okay, I know what I don't want. So, look, don't look at this. Can somebody help me with this? Because I don't have a personal trainer anymore. And I need me a personal trainer, I think. I need to get my body right. My belly is all, listen, like I said, I was depressed. So anyway, I don't know what y'all are going to get from this page. I really don't. Like, I'm using this page as my voice to vent. It's probably mostly going to be to vent, or if I just have something on my head, to talk about. But I feel like a lot of it's probably going to be just for me to get things off my chest. Or, like I said, if there's something that I feel compelled to talk about, if it's something positive, something healthy. My goal is, to make sure that, I have healthy, positive exchanges as much as possible. Now, is that always going to be the case? No. Why? Because people get triggered. I'm going to get triggered. I'm still on this journey to healing. I'm still on this journey to self. I'm still on this journey to enlightenment, to whatever that means. I am still on this journey, which means I'm still in human form. And I'm going to be in human form for quite some time. But I'm still human at my core, right? I'm still human flesh. I still have emotions. I still have feelings. I still am. So some days I'm going to get, like, not for nothing right now, I'm talking to you guys and I'm smiling and shit, but I really feel like crying. It's crazy. But, so some days you'll get me emotional. Some days you'll get me happy. Some days you'll get me sad. Some days you'll get me like going bonkers, excited. I might have some news, or I may have learned something new, or something amazing may have happened to me, and I want to come and I want to tell somebody. Like, I really don't talk to a lot of people about my life, about my stuff. So I figured I would just come and talk to the world about it. It's so weird that I really don't feel comfortable talking to people about my life. However, I appreciate when people tell me about their lives. And not because I want to use it against them, but because I like to hear people's stories. And, I like to help people on their journeys. And I discovered yesterday that one of the reasons I may attract a lot of toxic energy from, friends and men, mostly men, is because there's something in me that I am trying to heal. So I am trying to heal others, hoping that it will heal me. And that is true. And that is not good. So I know that there's a lot of work to do. I just started doing shadow work. It kind of scares me a little bit. Here's why it scares me. Because I have to go back to that little girl. And there's a lot of sadness back there. But I know it's necessary for me to do that in order for me to go and grow and be able to be in the places I was meant to be and elevate myself to where I'm supposed to be. The crazy shit is, on this journey, I've been having conversations, I've never been into tarot. I've never been into fortune telling. I've always been like, no, 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 no. I had, one of my good friends, she swears by mediumship. And she has medium capabilities as well. I've seen it with my own eyes, so I know she does. But she would be like, Lise, go talk to my lady. She's going to help you. She's going to tell you everything you need to know. I'm like, look, I don't want nobody telling me I'm going to die tomorrow. She's like, it's not like that. Everybody thinks it's going to be all gloom and doom, and it's really not like that. And I was like, well, if God wanted me to know what tomorrow brings, he would tell me. So I was dead set against it. Those are my days when I was still into my, my Christianity, and I was like, no, anything that is not of God or Jesus is the devil. So I didn't want to experience that, mostly for fear of damnation, but also for fear of the knowledge I would receive from whoever it was I was going to be speaking to about my life. And at that time, I was still fresh from still dealing with the breakup of my son's father and I, and that whole ordeal, that in and of itself was a traumatic experience for me, and I was dealing with a lot, and I had no answers. I was at a point where I was just like, I'm done with God. I literally said, fuck God. I literally said those words. Like, I was done. I was like, I have been good. I have been kind. I have done everything I possibly could to bring love and light to people. Now, I know when I was a teenager, I did some fuck shit. I did some shit that I'm not necessarily proud of. But is this the life I'm meant to live for the rest of my life for some shit I did as a kid? When I didn't even know better, when I didn't even have guidance? I mean, I guess I knew better, but when I didn't have guidance, when I didn't have, healthy, positive people in my life, is this my fate? And by then I was 30, and I'm like, my whole life has been shit. My mother gave me up when I was a month old. My fucking father was a crackhead. You know what I mean? So I didn't have anybody. My cousins hated me. My sister hated me. I had nobody. I felt alone my entire life. Only to find love that would keep me lonely. And ultimately betray me. No matter how much love I poured into it. No matter how loyal I was to it. No matter how much I craved it, no matter how much I desired it, no matter how much I begged for and prayed for it. And I was just like, I give up. There's no fucking way in hell that there's a God that exists that would allow good people to go through the shit they go through with people and allow fuck people to have these fucking amazing lives, just flourishing. So I was at that point in my life then, and obviously I still have some pain behind it. So I guess that's part of the shadow work I need to do too. See, you're going to get some tears, you're going to get some laughs, you're going to get a whole bunch of shit. You don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm motherfucking bipolar because from one minute I'm laughing, the next minute I'm fucking crying, the next minute, who the fuck knows? But, so, I wasn't into that. And then, when I started working at this other company, I got really close to a Hispanic woman there. Beautiful, amazing woman inside and out. She got treated like shit though. It wasn't cool. But she was such a beautiful girl. We remained friends for a little while. After we stopped working together, we remained friends for a little while. But I had gone to a barbecue with her one time, and she had a friend there who apparently was a seer. And I don't remember what she said, but she told me that I was going to receive true love, So me, desperate for love, I'm like, when? Is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen, soon? And I think she said she couldn't tell me. So that whole summer, I went expecting to be found. And that shit was a dry ass motherfucking summer. Ain't nobody find me and I ain't find no motherfucking body. Okay? So I was like, man, what the fuck ever. I was like, maybe what she saw, maybe she saw something in another fucking plane or something. Maybe, I don't know, So I just was just like, whatever. I gave up. I was like, whatever, that's bullshit. It is what it is. Fuck it. Yeah, I was like, God don't love me enough to send me love. Like that was my mindset then. I was like, God doesn't love me. Because if God loved me, he would give me the love that I desire. He would give me the love that I give. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that it was my job to give me the love that I needed. I didn't understand that it was up to me to accept or rebuke my current circumstances. I accepted them as they were, and I blamed God for it. For years. I went to church a couple of times with an old school friend. It's funny because I actually told him I had a crush on him. And I really didn't have a crush on him. I loved his chivalry. He was a gorgeous man. He was kind. He was God-fearing. He was sincere. He didn't have any kids at the time. I found out later he didn't want any kids. Whatever. But, he would open doors. Like, he was a really good guy, and I wanted that. So I didn't have a crush on him. I had a crush on his character. But he was like, yeah, no. I mean, he said it nicer than that, but basically he was like, no. So naturally, I got mad at God again, and I'm like, so you don't want me to have a good man. You want me to have these old fuck-ass piece of shit motherfuckers out here. You want me to have these sorry motherfuckers, because when I try to go for the good ones, they tell me they don't want me. So I actually think that was the first time I shot my shot and got shot down. And I was like, yeah, so I'm never doing that again. And then I did wind up doing it again. I feel like I did it like in my inbox with somebody. I feel like I had reached out to a guy I was interested in. I don't remember what happened, but I think he left me on red. And I was like, oh. And that's when, see, because back then on my page, I was talking about God, and I was all spiritual, and I was inspirational, and I was spreading love, and I was spreading light, and, I was just trying to be the very best version of me. And I was. Until I wasn't, because I felt like my prayers weren't being answered. I'm like, here I am. I'm your faithful servant. I talk about you. I tell people about you. I lead people to you. You literally gave me the name Lisa. My name means consecrated to God. Why are you letting me live this life this way? So I went deeper into darkness, had a bunch of either situationships or very, very short relationships, short meaning 3 months or less, so not even relationships. Then it got to the point where it was like, I was like, if it's less than 3 months, it ain't no fucking relationship. I don't even know this motherfucker. And guess what? Any dude that I ever dated that was less than 3 months, except for one. How long was that with this? Yeah, that was only like 3 months. Yeah, so any dude that I've dated, except for one, who was half my age, I don't remember their names. I don't remember anything significant about them. Let me tell you about this half my age guy. He was more alpha, more man, more manly, more chivalrous, more every manly thing than any man I'd ever been with. The only thing he didn't have was the money to match. And I didn't care about that. We were in the same field. We were doing the same thing, It wasn't like I was looking for him to take care of me yet. But it didn't work out because I don't think he was fully done with his situation with his daughter's mom. Not that they were together, but he still had a lot of anger and animosity there. And I was just getting past that part of my journey with my son's father. So he and I had spent like a week together, and I just kept seeing this, and I was like, you guys can co-parent, and I was trying to give some tidbits about, it doesn't have to be the angst, the animosity, and stuff like that, but he didn't receive it. So when I left, I don't even remember what happened, but I know I called him up and I kind of cursed him out. And when I tell you this man disappeared, I had never been ghosted like that before in my life. Ever. He completely fucking just fell off the face of the earth, stopped responding to me, stopped answering my calls, stopped answering my messages. I was left on red everywhere. And I was like, oh, I don't like that. That's not sexy. So anyway, I went back to Toxic Dick after that. And so here I am. Here today. However, Toxic Dick, who originally was, what I thought was a soulmate, actually acted as the catalyst to my... I don't want to say he was the catalyst to my spiritual journey, but I feel like when I met him, I stopped pursuing that part of my journey. Like I remained, with the positivity, with the motivational stuff and stuff like that. But when it came to spirituality and, I wanted to learn how to meditate and do yoga and stuff like that, I kind of let that stuff fall to the wayside. I'm not digging in my nose. My nose itches. And I don't have allergies. Maybe I do have allergies because, I don't get like prickly in the nose, but like like here it gets itchy. Like right in the very inside of my nose. Not all the way up, but like right here. Anyway. So I feel like when I rebuked or rejected God, that's when I started to seek out the universe. That's when I started to seek out more spiritual aspects. That's when I started to look into, even some of my lineage, my last name means witch in English. It's a German name. And in English, it means witch. So I'm like, there's no way my name means witch and I don't have witch lineage. Now, I know I have witch lineage, for one, because my direct grandmother, my mom's mother, was a witch, like a literal witch. I'm not being a bitch about it. I don't know if she was mean or nice or anything like that. I think my mom said she was mean to her. But, she was a literal witch, like a spell casting witch, and so obviously that stuff runs in my blood. And because my last name is White, meaning witch in English, that means that I must have some true witch blood. Then, look, don't laugh at me and don't fucking judge me. And if you judge me, I don't give a fuck anyway. Okay. But then I started watching, what was it, Vampire Diaries or whatever it was. And then you had the Bennett witch. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm a Bennett witch. Because my grandmother's last name was Bennett. And the Bennett witch was like the highest of the high. And I was like, oh shit. So, fast forward, I started recently allowing myself to be open to the idea of mediumship. I started to allow myself to be open to the idea of the netherworldly thing, ethereal entities or, spaces. I allowed myself to not be so closed-minded and decided to appreciate that there's a lot more to life that we just don't know, So I'm on this journey. I'm not sure exactly what to expect on this journey because I've never been here before. They say to get something you never had, you got to do something you've never done. I just didn't think this would be the thing that I had never done to get the thing that I want to have, but I'm grateful to be here on this journey. I think it's actually pretty cool. I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. You know, I haven't quite opened up my third eye yet, though. I'm looking forward to that. Is that where it's supposed to be? Like right there? Because I have like this dent here. I feel like it's supposed to be right there. I don't know. I'm still figuring out like the actual, because at first I thought it was like right here. And then I saw other places and it was like right here. And in other places, like it's in the middle of your forehead. I'm like, well, I got a big ass fucking forehead. Is mine right here? Is it down here? Is it down here? I don't know. So I just look up and I hope at some point it'll open up and tell me where the hell it is. But I'm really excited to be on this journey because I'm no longer holding on to older ideals that kept me in that box, that kept me looking for something that really truly wouldn't serve me. I'm really excited to be on this journey to figure out like really who I am. You know, I know my purpose on this earth is to help people. For the life of me, my entire life, I have been trying to help people in one way or another. You know, my entire life. You know, when I was younger, I used to try to help my friends. You know, when I was doing, when I had first started getting into technology, I was trying to help them there. You know, I've always been, from what I can remember, and I'm sure people probably remember not so nice things about me, because I had this guy who we used to hang out with, and by my, I guess I'll say my grandmother, but she's my mother's not mother, but my mother calls her mom. I guess she treated her like a mother or whatever. So we call her grandma. So we were over there, and I don't know, I guess all of us used to pick on him. You know, first of all, kids are assholes. Kids are assholes, and kids are bigger assholes when their parents don't regulate them and allow them to be assholes. Okay, so let me start there. So apparently we used to pick on him and, you know, tell him he was, you know, not easy to look at. We would tell him, you know, mean things. You know, he wasn't, you know, in the best shape either. You know, so we weren't nice. You know, he just had things about him physically, and he probably was a really nice guy on the inside. You know, but you really don't know as a kid the impact you have. That's why I tell Jade, you know, as an adult now, as an adult who bullied, apparently, and also has been bullied, you know, I made it a point to my son to, one, never allow anybody to bully him, but to two, never be the bully. You know, so Jade is more of a protector than anything, you know, and I love that about him, you know, so he won't be bullied. He won't let anybody bully him, and he won't let anybody bully his friends either, you know, and I love that about him. But I do have to warn him sometimes, like, listen, everybody's battle is not yours, you know, and sometimes when it comes to matters of the heart with your friends and their people, you got to let that be, because shit can get ugly for you, and then you're gone, you know, God forbid, gone, or in jail or something, you know, and your friend that you defended is right back with that person. So you did all of that in vain, you know. So I try to teach him how to use discernment, you know, so he can make sure that while he's protecting his friends, he's protecting himself. I always teach him, like, CYA. That's one of my favorite things to tell him. CYA and stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Well, how about I didn't stay ready? I didn't stay ready in my current circumstance. And now I'm forced to figure out how the fuck I'm going to get ready to do the shit that I need to do to make shit fucking happen in a sustainable way. So, I'm looking forward to this part of my life, to this part of my journey, to this next chapter, or to this new book, or whatever this nextness is. I'm actually welcoming it. I'm looking forward to it. Back in the days, I was afraid of it. Now, I'm nervously excited about it. You know, I'm curious to know, with the spiritual changes that I've made inside, how is that going to healthily reflect in my everyday, but also inside of me? you know, because I want to embody spirit. You know, I want to embody the wholeness, the goodness, the purity. You know, this guy who, you know, I just got out of this whirlwind of emotion and turmoil with, you know, shit, I just lost my thought. Whatever. Obviously, Spirit's like, no, we're not giving him no airplay. Fuck that nigga. So, fuck that nigga. Whatever. Anyway, like I said, I'm really excited to be on this journey. You know, I didn't expect that I would be at this point in my journey. I didn't realize either that part of that spiritual process is to go dark. You know, and I had tried to go dark a few times, you know, but I have family members and friends who reach out, and you know, so I would have to come out of the dark and you know avail myself, and you know then I would try to go dark again, and then I'd come back out, and then I'd go dark again, and then I come back out. But you know, now I've reached a point where I'm ready to go dark while I envelop the light. So I've cut out everybody in my life who is not business related until I get to the point where I can have that leisure love with them, that leisure time with them, that you know, that the Lisa that I once was, that didn't have a care, that had money to spend, that could do whatever the fuck she wanted to do. You know, I'm getting emotional now because I'm not that Lisa anymore, and I'm not excited about not having money. That does not help me emotionally. It frustrates the fuck out of me. So anyway, I digress. I am excited to be on this journey. I'm excited about what is going to come, what it will entail. I'm excited that you guys are here with me. I'm curious to know, you know, in the next 6 months, in the next year, you know, what it's going to look like. Oh, I was saying I went dark, right? So, you know, I cut off my best friend. Oh, one of my best friends. And even that one, it's hard because even she and I had some turmoil that we dealt with, and you know, we had a falling out for a really long time. And then, you know, we came back and it just was never the same for me. You know, I'm sure for her too. You know, I struggle to get over shit when I know I was good to people and, you know, they did some fuck shit. Like she never fucked no guy I was fucking, I don't think, you know, or anything like that. Although she says one of my guys tried to fuck her and he says she tried to fuck him, so whatever. I don't give a fuck. We were kids and it doesn't matter at this point, but I cut her off with really no explanation because there really is no explanation. You know, when I first, I don't want to say when I first cut her off, but like when I first started going into the dark, I told her, I told everybody, I said, listen, you know, I'm trying to do things in my life and, you know, I just need to go dark for a little while. I'll be back. And they all respected it, you know, to an extent. But I would still get the invitations, and me not knowing how to say no, you know, I accept all invitations. So I needed to be in the darkness. I needed to be in the quiet. I needed to be away from people, but I couldn't say no to the invitations, you know? So I would go, you know, and get depleted and then have to come back and try to revive myself and then feel guilty for going when I know I didn't want to go for, you know, especially if it didn't turn out to be a good time, you know, so that would piss me off even more. Like I wasted my fucking time. I didn't want to fucking go anyway, you know, so I realized that, and that's not just with her and her family, it's like anybody. I told everybody at the time that I was connected to, except for my son, obviously, he lived here. Couldn't go dark on him. But I told everybody I was going dark and, you know, it was, I just needed this point to just focus. And they were very respectful of it, but not respectful at the same time, right? I think they wanted to make sure that I knew that they were supportive, but also that I'm still welcome. And I appreciated that. But because of where I was and my inability to say no, it was a hindrance for me. You know, for them, they were being kind and they're extending themselves. For me, it's like, no. You know, but I said no, but I couldn't say no to them, you know? So I'd show up smiling, happy, and and oh, you're so crazy, and we love it when you're here, the kids love you, and to go home and be like, why did I go? You know? So now I have gotten to a point where I just went dark and I didn't say anything. I just stopped reaching out. You know, I stopped really responding. You know, I stopped really engaging like with my text messages if it wasn't something, you know, that had to do with business. You know, the only one who wouldn't leave me the fuck alone was my son's stepmother. I mean, now that's resolved because she got into whatever feeling she was in about a post I put up that had nothing to do with the fuck this stupid bitch was talking about. So to me, that was spirit saying, listen, I told you were going to have to get rid of people. I told you were going to have to cut people off. This bitch is just one person you got to let go. So I was like, all right, spirit, no problem. I've always had angst of some sort as it related to her. And this last time we tried to have the friendship, I tried to push it away and dispel it and, you know, not allow it to, because to me, I felt like I was harboring things and I was maybe delaying my growth, delaying my healing, you know, my future by harboring feelings towards this girl, even though I had and still have every reason to have done that, you know. So this last time, it was okay. We were good. This is probably the longest we were good. I want to say we were probably good for about a good year without any drama or bullshit. And then here we go with this shit. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I had to take a step back. I literally did, because I'm like, all right, so I put up this post that had nothing to do with the fuck she's talking about. So I had to take myself back and say, okay, let me look at this post again to see where she could have derived that from. Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So I was like, all right, Lisa, this is the shedding that you have to do, right? Steve Harvey said it, right? Everybody that comes with you can't go with you, you know. So she's one of them that can't go with me. She's got her own journey, her own life. Whatever they're doing on that side is what they're doing, but they don't belong here. They're not a part of my soul tribe. They're not a part of my light, you know, family, or whatever the case may be. They're not a part of the elements of me that make me the very best parts of me. You know, and I'm not saying that she didn't try. I think sometimes she did, but I do believe there was some, my gut could never really receive her. Never. You know, so I know that there was something more there that she wasn't giving. And I'm not going to lie, you know, I did have someone tell me before that she, you know, was trying to steal my energy, that she was trying to, you know, do some ungodly things, you know, in a non-earthly way to me. And I'm not going to lie, you know, I did see, based on what was told to me, you know, because I didn't give any insights, you know, but based on what was told to me, it was plausible. And, you know, it allowed me to understand why I always had that pulling in my stomach, you know, at my gut. So I realized that obviously, you know, that was God saying no, you know, but I was sitting there and I was fighting myself, you know, when God knows, you know, some connections just simply aren't meant to be maintained. And so I'm actually really grateful to have that weight lifted, you know, because it weighed on me. If I was being even a sincere friend, because I still wasn't sure, you know. So we had a breakthrough. She came to my house with one of her friends. And I felt like we had a breakthrough. I even got to a point where I felt like, because of, her story, I felt like I needed to protect her in ways, not physically, but, emotionally. So I really felt a connection at that point, but that dispelled pretty quickly with things happening. But I'm like, you know what? That's just her. That's just how she is, So I'm not really accepting that she's not the friend that I needed, and that's not to say that on the surface she didn't try, because on the surface she definitely tried. On the surface, she included me in things. She's the only friend I had who was willing to not only go to karaoke with me but participate. So that is something that I will always be grateful to her for, because none of my friends ever want to do it. And if they do come, they want to go right away and they don't want to participate. They might have a couple of drinks, but they don't participate. So it's like, it's boring. I went one year for my birthday with this fucking stupid, raggedy fucking bitch who called herself, doing something nice for my birthday. So we went to karaoke afterwards, because what she did was not what I wanted to do. It was not something that I would have done for my birthday anyway. But I'm like, all right, you paid for it, so I'm gonna go. So anyway, did that. And then, I wanted to do karaoke. And then when we got there, they were just talking all of this shit. Oh, you hear the music they listening to? And like, just all negative shit. And I was just like, all right, I'm going. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop you off home. But, by the time I dropped her off home, I was just like, I'm not going back down there. I was coming from Manhattan to take her home to the Bronx, and I still had to go further north to Connecticut. So I was like, I'm not going out. But then I also said, I was like, I would never ever invite any of them to karaoke again, ever. So I think my tribe are a bunch of karaokeans. At least I hope so. I want to. I want to be drawn to and have people drawn to me who have the same core values that I do, who are interested in a lot of the things that I'm interested in, so we can actually, create those connections and bonds, specifically karaoke, or just, being out in nature, just enjoying God's earth, and I'm not talking about, going hiking, because let me be clear, I am not a hiker. I tried that shit in Puerto Rico for about 15 minutes. And I was like, you know what? We heard some we heard birds, we heard hissing, and we heard rustling of the leaves. And I was like, you know what, guys? We are entering territory that we know nothing about. Only for me to later come home to find out that there's a bunch of fucking snakes and shit in the fucking forest we were in. No, ma'am. So if we do that again, we'll definitely do a guided tour. We won't be doing any exploratory shit on our own. But we left pretty quickly. When I tell you, I was scared. I was scared. And I was out of breath, because I was like, shit, I need to start working out. Because if something happens, I can't save none of these kids. Not even my own. I have my son and my niece and my nephew with me. But yeah, so I'm on this journey, and I'm really excited. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I'm doing what I can on my side to learn more about it, to be more engrossed in it. But I know I need like a real person that I can connect with, who can help me to better understand how to get there from here, the quantum leaps and, those type of things. I did a couple of things, and I'm not gonna lie, some of the things I have done, I do see changes, so I do believe they're working. I just don't see the quantum working. And I think that's an internal thing, or maybe it's something to do with how I did it, or what I said, what my intention was, or whatever the case is. I'm not sure. Or maybe it worked and I just don't know yet. I just am not seeing it yet. It might just still be like swirling and like starting to simmer down and really take hold. I don't know. But I'm excited about new Lisa. I'm excited about what is coming next. I have no clue what to expect out of my life. I have no clue what to expect next. And it's scary and it's uncomfortable. But here's what. In my comfort, I have lack. So I need to get uncomfortable so I can reach the level of comfort that I desire to have abundance. So in my comfort, I desire abundance. In my current circumstance, that's not what it is. So I'm working on that part of manifesting and visualizing and, working things out, because I'm not going to lie. My entire life, I've come through a lot of money and I've just not been good with it. And I have always wished, here's the thing. Now that we're talking about it, it's so crazy because I've helped people in so many ways, do so many different things. I have strengths in a million and one different areas, except finance. And most of the people who I've helped are really good with finance. So most of those people are doing really well financially. And I needed someone who would help me with finance. They needed someone to help them do the things that I help them do. And I need someone to help me with finance. The thing is, I am the type of person who pays attention and who offers. I didn't really have those kind of people in my life. And then when I asked for the help, part of it was like, oh, just do this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not that simple for me. For you, it's that simple because this is just your mindset. This is, where your strengths are. It's not that simple for me. And then I had another one who, like, just wouldn't, or maybe just couldn't articulate it. I think it was a combination of both. Mostly wouldn't, though. And that shit started to bother me. And then even men I dated, it's like, look, I don't know that much about, handling finances so much, but I can level you up in other ways. I can get you to places you want to be. I got a resume I can show you. You want me to call some people? Because they can tell you some things that I done did, baby. But I need help trying to figure out how to manage my finances so I can live the happy, healthy, sustainable life that I want to live and not have to worry about money. Like, I used to spend money frivolously. I used to just do, go, be, whatever Jay wanted he had, and we were going on trips and vacations, and then we weren't. So I'm curious to see the level of riches I have in this next chapter. I believe I'm destined for that. Because I'm supposed to be able to spend and not have to think about it. I'm supposed to be able to spend and not have to worry about it. I'm supposed to be in my soft girl era. Right? And do whatever I want on my terms, on my time, and not have to worry about it at all. But I do. And I don't like that. So we have to fix that. So anyway, I'm on this spiritual and monetary journey. And let's see where it goes. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Thank you for leaping with me and, following me on all the different platforms I'm on. And, as I try to figure out how I'm going to do this thing, because I know I need to speak, right? I know I need to, express things. I have my Candid podcast. And I'm not sure, I might kind of tie those two in together because it's basically the same thing. I didn't want to call this page Candidly. but I might change it later on. For now, it's Lisa Speaks because I will be speaking and I will be using my voice and I will be speaking more. Um, but I will have content that is for Candidly. And it very well may be the same content. I'm just not sure yet. I'm still figuring that part out. You know. But anyway, I just want to say thank you guys for being on my journey. Part of my emotional roller coaster. Listen, if you read what the page is about, you will see that it says it's a roller coaster ride. Keep your hands down. Okay? So, anyway, I'm really excited to have you guys here, and I thank you for being here. Let's see what the future holds. Let's see. Let's see. Ciao for now. Mwah.